Is it working? It's recording. Okay. So here's how it's gonna go. So we only have one candidate running for president, and that is Miss Lauren Tumbaga. So, so after she gives her little spiel, then there will be a little, so that's gonna be about 3 to 5 minutes. And then there's gonna be a Q&A portion after. So when it's the Q&A portion, feel free to chime in or raise your hand, and then I'll either call on you or that you just could unmute your mic and just turn it on. So yeah. So Lauren, take the stage whenever you're ready. I will give you co-host abilities.
All right. Hi, everyone. So my name is Lauren, and my pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm a second year student at the UO. I currently hold the position as a programs intern as well as the Konai I Director of ISA. I am announcing that I will be running for ISA President for 2021 to 2022. I'm excited to express my interest as ISA President as I want to continue involvement with ISA by working closely with a recognized group of people who strive towards executing ISA's mission and dedication for representing domestic and international students at the UO. To start, I want to express the importance of this club and what I cherish from my time here. As the ISA mission is to represent domestic and international students, our interns, executives, and co-presidents have done a phenomenal job of bringing inclusivity to UO students that aids them in developing a sense of diversity, a sense of friendship, a sense of appreciation, and most importantly, a sense of belonging. With the vast amount of education that I learned and absorbed about the importance of diversity and cultural heritages from each coffee hour, I'm able to learn and gain new knowledge about other cultures that has shaped me to become a better person to all. I'm grateful that I had the chance to interact and involve myself with other students and other members of this club of various ethnicities to show my appreciation for their heritage and cultural beliefs. As my current role as a programs intern and INIT co-director, the lessons that I've learned and gained will better equip me and prepare me for the role as ISA president. I am one of the programs interns, and my roles and responsibilities included leading/hosting coffee hours while also preparing the layout of it. I've also rotated between writing engaged announcements, designing the slideshows, and communicating with the outreach team for future collabs. As the INIT co-director, I had the opportunity to co-lead a very successful event, and I would say I was able to manage obstacles in a calmful yet manageable way that were thrown unexpectedly. As there are many responsibilities for the INIT co-director, I would say I can speak of being a team player and how important it is to learn how to work as a team and also to have what works for everyone as well. Being a team player in which people rely on you and have expectations of you, I value different people's perspectives and contribute insights towards a betterment of our organization. Especially from shifting to virtual coffee hours to one of the biggest in-person events of the year, it showed a lot of perseverance, dedication, and effort from all members of ISA. So going forth, I want to continue the legacy that this past year's ISA members have implemented. I'm going to continue to take pride in being a leader, a friend, and support system for as many diversity events and clubs on campus. I'm going to continue to share my culturally enriched values with others by expressing the importance of why a melting pot, or in other words, a society where many types of people blend together as one, should be promoted and supported on our school campus. I'm going to continue to use my voice, my talents, and my respect to share and represent values with everyone on the team by promoting and supporting all students on campus. To end, if selected as president of ISA, I do not want to be referred to that title alone, but also to be a voice and ambassador of ISA, as well as a reliable and respectful and also a fun friend to the domestic and international students at the UO. I'm prepared to dedicate my time, my efforts, and my abilities as your next ISA president. And so I just want to say thank you all for providing me with the love and support as well as your time today. I can't wait to see you all at our future in-person coffee hours. Thank you.
Now we're gonna open the Q&A portion. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them directly to Lauren. And don't be shy. Don't. Okay. Okay, I'll ask the first question. So, Lauren, so what's been the best part about being on in ISA?
I would say the best part is making meaningful friendships that I know are going to last beyond ISA. Um, from meeting the interns, executives, and also co-presidents, I've learned how to really be, in my opinion, a friend. And it's really about accepting others, especially with different cultures and different beliefs. And with each different coffee hours, I was able to see how each members, contributed, especially when we were representing at least some of the cultural beliefs that we were putting out as our coffee hours. I would say too, as though we didn't have as many in-person interactions or the in-person coffee hours as there was the years past, I feel that just being able to spend the moment with them, whether it was preparing for I night or our other outside interactions, I would say that just being able to learn about them, being able to see like what it is to be a friend, and also to like that I just keep that connection and friendship for a while. So that.
Okay, and Shreya raised her hand. So Shreya, what's your question?
Um, Lauren, great speech, by the way. I'm so proud. I was just gonna ask you if you could describe a time this year, fall, winter, or spring, where you generally faced an obstacle, and like describe what the obstacle was, and tell us how you overcame it, if you overcame it.
Yeah, I would say one of the most obstacles was during spring term, and that was being part of the I9 co-director. At first, there was a lot of things that I haven't or wasn't familiar of, and especially too, just sometimes learning stuff from scratch. And I think kind of prepared me to see what in for future events, what ISA is about and how we can make events like stronger and better. With being I Night co-director, there was a lot of things that, again, as I mentioned before, were thrown unexpectedly. It wasn't necessarily anybody's fault. It was just too a lot of communication from, and also how would I say this? Just like a lot of communication from multiple people, whether that's the EMU board, other vendors, and sometimes too working under pressure. There is times where some decisions couldn't be made place in time. I feel that just being as one of the INET co-directors, we couldn't entirely give up because we knew people were counting on us. So I think also to figuring out like alternatives to that, because again, INIT is not just only for the ISA team, or we're not just putting it out, but it's like it's for people, the domestic and international students. And so we want to be able to represent them and also make the biggest event that they know they are that they know that we are here for them, and also at any time. But yeah, I would say just major obstacles were thrown unexpectedly, but I think working under having the support from other people, especially on the team, is what made it count and made it better.
Thank you.
Okay, then next person who has their hand raised is Alan.
Do you guys hear me fine? Okay. So while we're on the topics of obstacles, what future obstacles do you like kind of foresee that we need to like overcome in order to like successfully transition to like in-person coffee hours?
That's a great question, Alan. Um, at the moment, I feel that. Um, I'm sorry. Do you mind if you can repeat the question?
Yeah, yeah. So like, what future obstacle do you kind of predict is going to happen that we need to like overcome to have like a successful like transition to like in-person coffee hours from like online, you know?
I would say especially too for the majority of this year, we have been working online, and so shifting from in person will definitely be a little bit more challenging. I think one thing that we can really work on is communication, and also to having or getting the help, and I wouldn't say like last minute, but making sure that we have everything in preparation for our future coffee hours or also any other events that we're hosting. I know, especially with ISA, there's, we know that we're all here for each other, but also too, there's kind of like a certain point where we need to like um, come together and be very like vocal about stuff and take like some things accountable, and just to making sure that we are putting on an event that is in the works for everybody, not just like that works for us, but also too that works for people coming to coffee hour and our other future events. If that
Next person to raise their hand is Yuka Mocha.
Okay, my question is, what are you most looking forward to for in-person coffee hour? And what do you think will be the biggest struggle considering that you have never experienced a real coffee hour?
I'm sorry, do you have any repeating that? I think it.
Oh God, Johnny, do you want to mute? Okay, can you hear me? So I asked, what do you think would be the biggest struggle going into coffee hour? Oh wait, no, sorry, scratch that. What are you looking forward to the most going into in-person coffee hour? And what do you think would be the biggest struggle considering that you have never experienced a real coffee hour?
One thing that I'm really looking forward to is having really everyone come to coffee hours. And I know before there was a large amount of people, but also too, I really want to emphasize and advertise that anybody is welcome. There was like, especially in our past coffee hours, like our virtual ones, we always had the same people. And I understand too that especially throughout COVID, not that many people can attend, and especially having the event like at a certain time. But I am really looking forward to meeting new people and also to having to represent everyone. Um, in the works of that, like since I have never been to an in-person coffee hour before, and I'm excited to see what that brings, I would say probably again most struggle is see, I wouldn't predict like it's not going to turn out well. I know it will be, but also too, I think getting more training, as I would say, and kind of like knowing the background of how the past coffee hours were before, just to make sure we have everything in preparation how it was in the past. Thank you.
I have another question. So, in ISA, or if in ISA that you had the ability to grow from the beginning of fall terms where you are now, and what is there anything that you would want to project in the future that you would give to future interns that how should I say this, to give to future interns that made you grow as well, or what are like goals for like future interns that you want to project onto them?
I would say for me personally, I was in the very beginning, I was not as much vocal. And if I were to look back, I wouldn't picture myself in the honestly this club at all. And going back to it, I remember before applying, I got a notification saying, "Oh, you should, you seem interesting. We would like to see if you would apply." And I had doubts about it just because I wasn't sure if applying, or as at the moment, since I was a sophomore, I wasn't familiar with ISA before, even though I knew like what the coffee hours was, but I didn't know how ISA worked. I was like, oh, could I just join but not do the work? Or, I didn't have as much information, but I think what really took me to gravitate towards it was for me stepping outside my comfort zone. And I would say putting myself in a situation where if I was scared, to really improve myself. I think that was one of the most things, and something that I talked about in my interview. I told you guys I wanted to, I want to be a better person. And what I mean by that is that, yeah, before I was like very, not as much vocal. I was shy, didn't know how to really communicate with this. And then I said, it kind of comes to a point where it's like, I need to not fear as much because I wouldn't know what I'm capable of. And looking back, I did apply for an intern, which I got it, but not knowing that I would have gotten an INI co-director and now applying for ISA president, I would say to keep your or to look back at yourself, and if there's anything you're scared of, just do it because you don't know what you're capable of doing, and it'll actually make you not feel like a better person, but also too knowing that you fulfilled your talents because again, you don't know what you're capable of. And yeah, I would say don't fear, just full send.
Okay, I see no one else has their hand raised. Does anyone have any? Oh, Shreya has their hand raised. Okay, go ahead, Shreya.
I actually have two questions. So the first one is going to be about teamwork, Lauren. So I know as an INI director, you have a lot of stuff that was thrown at you, and you've touched upon it multiple times. And as a president, do you think being a president should be considered something as an authoritative position or a position of autonomy? And how would you decide your team communication strategy? Do you have any position or any stance on it? Like, are you going to keep your team in the loop all the time? Are you going to take decisions and not tell your team? What is your take on this whole situation?
um, as ISA president, I understand there's times where to be authoritative. It comes to a point too where everybody needs to know, and I value everybody's decision because it's not always going to be about me. I want to know what works for everyone. Although I am running for ISA president, um, I would say I do have, or I oversees everything, but I feel that too. I really most importantly value everyone's opinions. And so what works for me may not work for everyone else. And I understand that too. But when it comes to it, I will value that other person's opinions and choices over mine because there can be times where I may think of something and it might not work as well than may I thought it would be. And just hearing what people say, seeing the alternatives, I think really considering what everybody thinks and to work out like what can we really do as a team. It's not just going to be me, it's not going to be the other interns and the execs. I really feel that being a team is what makes ISA like not just interns, executives, or co-presidents, or how the exec boards are going to be. I really believe that because we are ISA, we are one, and especially too that we are representing to the domestic and international students, and also too that our club is made out of international and domestic students that I really value everyone's opinions and choices. So that's
Mhm. Okay, and the follow up with that is going to be something related to programs. So I know you've done a great job over the past year with programs, but I just want to know, is there something that you would change about our structure? Is there something you would change about ISA? Would you change the coffee hour format, or would you change the kind of events we do? And just following up with that as well, what is your plan of like involving more international students or more international voices in this?
Mhm. Yeah, I would say even though I probably know the coffee hours have been virtual, but I am looking forward to seeing and also having it in person. I think to do like more collaboration, especially clubs that aren't well recognized, because I know with there are other clubs that once we have collaborated with, most people know about, and it's great to get that to get a lot of participants and attendees and also the information from that club. But I feel that something pertaining to each cultural club on campus, maybe we can do like more collabs or maybe something, possibly this is what I was thinking too, like a multicultural day where we can have all the clubs outside, have like an information night, have some food, decorations, and in-person events. Yeah, I really want to make sure that every cultural club is known, and also to bring and gravitate like the international and domestic students to where they know ISA. I know ISA is very well known on campus, but especially to like with incoming freshmen, maybe for those international students, we can help them transition, whether it's before their first year or after, or also to maybe we can bring in some alumni students from ISA or also to who have graduated the UO, or maybe also integrate some faculties that are from like international countries.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Anyone else have any other questions? Anyone? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that concludes elections. So thank you, Lauren. And you guys are probably wondering on how you can vote for this candidate. So how you do so is that, plus everyone has to do so. This is a requirement. So you would send an email to the ISA email, which is asuoisa@uoregon.edu. So with that, you would insert your name, your 95 number, and then who you're going to vote for. So for example, it would be like, I am voting for Lauren, and that's all you need to do. Send that email, and that would count as a vote. So other than that, Lauren, any last minute comments?
I just want to say thank you guys again for all the support and also taking your time to listen to my speech and also asking very good questions.
Okay, so with this concludes the elections for ISA 2021. So I hope everyone has an amazing day, and thank you guys for coming.
Great